With that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary.
Did he really just snitch on himself? After all these years of slick talk and smooth speeches, Dr. Umar Johnson may have finally slipped up. The man once hailed as the voice of Pan-African education is now staring down foreclosure, frozen bank accounts, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. It started with a dream, or so he claimed. Back in 2014, Dr. Umar Johnson made headlines when he announced plans to purchase St. Paul's College, a historically black college in Virginia. His vision, to convert it into the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, a school for black boys by black leadership. It sounded noble, revolutionary even. But here's where the story takes a turn, because that campaign in 2014 wasn't the beginning, not even close. People online, and some who say they knew him back in the day, claim Umar had been pitching this school idea long before social media was even a thing. We're talking early 2000s. One woman even went viral recalling how Umar was raising money when her son was still in elementary school. Now he's grown and in college. That means this plan, it's been running in some form for nearly 2 decades. But despite the speeches, the live streams, and the endless donation requests, there's still no fully functioning school. And yet, the donations kept coming. Over $166 million, that's how much he claims was raised just for renovation efforts, not including speaking fees, book sales, or cash handed over at events. And what's there to show for it? A shuttered building, empty classrooms, peeling paint, and now a foreclosure notice. Because as of this year, the city says Dr. Umar owes $76,000 in unpaid fees and penalties tied to the property. He says it's all a misunderstanding, that the city ignored his nonprofit status and failed to notify him properly. But one thing is clear. If that money isn't paid, the building he's been promising to transform may be auctioned off.
On August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a notice to auction off the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy campus for unpaid vacant property registration fees. I repeat, on August the 5th, the city of Wilmington, Delaware, took out a lien to auction off the campus we bought, the campus we've been working on for 6.5 years. I was not notified of this. We were not notified of this. This past weekend, without an email, this past weekend, without a letter in the mail, this past weekend, without a phone call, the city of Wilmington put a notice on the door handle of both of our schools, informing me that if we don't pay the past due vacant property registration fees and outstanding utilities by the 25th of Black August, they will sell our campus. Brothers and sisters, can I ask you a question? Why were we not notified that they were going to try to sell our campus?
That's over a decade of promises, nearly $2 million, and 0 students in classrooms. And the more you look at it, the more people are starting to ask, was this ever about building a school at all? But this isn't the first time people have raised red flags. Long before social media receipts, long before YouTube exposés, there were just whispers from parents, teachers, and supporters who'd heard Dr. Umar Johnson speak passionately at events, promising a new era for Black education. The idea of a private academy focused solely on Black boys? It resonated, and for many it felt like a cause worth fighting for, but those whispers turned into confusion, then frustration, and now, for some, straight-up disbelief, because according to multiple stories online, some now viral, Umar was talking about building this school as early as the early 2000s, not 2014, not 2016. We're talking about decades ago. Mother shared how she remembered hearing him speak when her son was in elementary school. That same son, now in college, and still no school. Think about that for a second. A child could grow from kindergarten to adulthood in the time it's taken Umar to lay a single brick, and in between, just a constant stream of live streams, donation drives, and motivational rants. The language changed, the platforms evolved, but the pitch, it stayed the same. Donate to the school, support the movement. We're almost there. For over 20 years, the same emotional pleas, the same inspirational quotes, the same calls to action. Meanwhile, supporters kept digging into their pockets, hoping to see change. But every update felt like deja vu. Another deadline missed, another excuse, another vague reason why the school wasn't open yet. And the worst part? Many of his followers still believed. Because when someone speaks with passion, dresses it in Pan-African pride, and sprinkles in enough cultural buzzwords, it becomes hard to question them without looking like a hater. But that didn't stop people from finally demanding answers. And when people started asking tough questions, the answers got even sketchier. He calls himself Dr.Umar Johnson, and that title has followed him through every speech, live stream, and donation plea for years. But here's the question: where's the degree? Over time, more and more critics started asking the same thing. Is he actually a doctor, or is this just part of the performance? Because for someone so vocal, so public, and so active in the community, there's never been any verified academic record publicly confirming his doctorate. No dissertation, no university acknowledgement, no traceable credentials that back up the doctor before his name. Now, to be fair, Umar has claimed he earned a doctorate in clinical psychology. He's mentioned institutions, he's mentioned programs. But when independent researchers and skeptics tried to verify those details, nothing checked out. No graduation photos, no published thesis, no official documentation from the universities he supposedly attended. Just claims made loudly, confidently, and often, and yet, that title has become part of his brand. It's how he introduces himself. It's on his books, his flyers, his speaking tours. Dr. Umar Johnson sounds more official, more powerful, more credible, but if the title isn't real, or can't be verified, what else might be just for show? Because once you start peeling back the layers of this persona, you realize the entire image is carefully constructed. And maybe not all of it is grounded in truth, but beyond titles, the real issue lies in how he's been handling the money. Here's where things really start to get murky. Most legit nonprofits have strict systems in place when it comes to collecting money. Why? Because when people donate, there's supposed to be a clear paper trail. Donation receipts, tax deductions, nonprofit registration numbers. All the boring but necessary stuff that keeps everything above board.
Why are they trying to sell our campus at the very moment that our accounts are frozen? Brothers and sisters, is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that the city of Wilmington is trying to sell properties that we own and have been working on continuously behind our backs? They were going to sell our schools behind our backs. They didn't even tell us that they were going to try to sell our schools. We received no notice in the mail. We received no notice by email. We received no phone calls at all that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door handle. Somebody stole one set of notifications and sent it to the YouTubian struggle streamers. Somebody stole the Frederick Douglass High School paperwork off the front door and sent it to the struggle streamers. But luckily for us, Sister Ra Ebony was able to get the paperwork off the Marcus Garvey School before the haters stole that paperwork. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe, brothers and sisters, and please let me know your opinion. I believe that they were going to sell the school, and they wanted to sell the school before we found out. I believe that they wanted to sell the school before we found out. We were not supposed to know that they were going to sell our school. Why do I say that? We were given no notification. We received no letter in the mail. We received no email. We received no phone call that they were going to try to sell our schools. Instead, they put a notice on the door. In a low-income neighborhood, they put a notice on the door with rubber band and masking tape. They put a notice on the school front door with a rubber band and masking tape.
But in Umar Johnson's case, he's allegedly accepted the majority of his donations through Cash App, PayPal, and even GoFundMe links. Not through an official school website. Not through a verified nonprofit platform like GiveButter or Classy. Just direct payments, sometimes to personal accounts, and sometimes with no receipt at all. Think about that. You're donating to something pitched as a legitimate nonprofit, a school meant to uplift Black boys, and there's no tax-deductible paperwork, no donation records, no transparency. It's all incredibly convenient if you're trying to avoid oversight. Because when money flows through apps like Cash App or PayPal, it becomes incredibly easy to blur the lines between business, expenses, and personal spending. That means unless someone's auditing the account, there's no way to know where the money actually went. And the concern isn't just theoretical. Some donors have spoken out publicly, wondering why, after sending hundreds or even thousands of dollars, they've never received any confirmation of what their funds were used for. No updates. No receipts, no financial reports, just more live videos, and more requests for money. Meanwhile, legit nonprofit organizations have entire accounting systems in place. They use verified payment processors, issue official receipts, and provide annual donor summaries for tax filing. Even small charities do this because they have to. It's the law, but Umar? He's running a movement that's raised over $1.6 million. And critics say there's no financial infrastructure behind it. No team, no transparency, just one man. And a lot of questions. And when you look at how the money's allegedly been handled, the math doesn't just look fuzzy, it looks invisible. And now, with his accounts frozen, the excuses just don't add up.
With that being said, brothers and sisters, Dr. Umar has access to no money right now because my personal account contains all of my money. I only send it to Apple Pay and PayPal as necessary.
At this point, every red flag has been raised. The money's gone. The school isn't open. The accounts are frozen. And yet, Umar Johnson has a new explanation every time. One week, he claims his paperwork was stolen. Another week, it's the city's fault for not honoring his nonprofit status. Sometimes it's a mysterious conspiracy against Pan-African leaders. Other times, it's just plain haters trying to tear down a righteous black man. But here's what never seems to change. He never shows the receipts.
For the first time in my life is without any digital currency. So for my loyal supporters out there, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifatunde and myself until my bank account is frozen or canceled so I can get my money back and open up a new account, please hit my Apple Pay or hit my PayPal. My personal PayPal account is Umar the Psychologist at yahoo.com. So that's paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, paypal.me/UmarthePsychologist, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist, or hit my Apple Pay using my cell number 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. I've never asked the people for $1. I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. I've only asked you to donate to the FDMG Academy for Boys. I don't have any sons. I have 2 daughters. So the FDMG campaign is a selfless project, mission, and service to provide our boys with the education that they deserve. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank because someone has been trying to hack into my account, hack into FDMG Academy account. So the FDMG Academy account is frozen. My personal account is also frozen. That means we're going to lapse on our utility bills. We're going to lapse on our internet bill. We're going to lapse on a lot of our bills at FDMG. The bank is not giving me a timeline as to when this situation is going to be resolved. If I don't have Cash App, nor does FDMG have Cash App. I do not have a Cash App. I only have Apple Pay and PayPal. If you can spare a few dollars, send it to my Apple Pay, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, or my PayPal, paypal.me/Umar the Psychologist. Although Leo season is off to a rocky start, brothers and sisters, we will overcome. Shout out to all my donors. Newark, New Jersey, I'ma see you. Nat Turner, I'ma see you. Mobile, Alabama, I'ma see you. New Orleans, Louisiana, Hurricane Katrina, I'ma see you. Kenya, January, I'ma see you. FDMG is coming. We just got to lay down on floors, brothers and sisters. Lay down on floors, and we applying for our certificate of occupancy. I don't have any money in my pocket because my account is frozen. If you could send a few dollars to Dr. Umar for Apple Pay or PayPal, I would greatly appreciate it. Black Queens forever. Snow Bunnies never. Enjoy your weekend. Leo season forever. Peace and Pan-Africanism.
Not once has Umar publicly released a full set of financial records. Not once has he provided bank statements, donor breakdowns, or any concrete proof of where the $166 million actually went. And anytime someone dares to ask, he deflects, dismisses, or doubles down on the victim narrative. They don't want to see a black man succeed. They stole the documents. The bank is working against me. It's always something, except accountability. And let's be clear, the public isn't asking for anything extreme. People just want transparency. They want to see the numbers, a breakdown of what was spent, what was saved, and what exactly the plan is moving forward. Because right now, all they see is a boarded up building, vague promises, and excuses that keep getting weirder. And here's what makes it worse. The outrage isn't just coming from outsiders, even some of his former supporters, people who believed in him from day one, have started to speak out. They're frustrated. They feel misled. Some even feel betrayed, because when people give out of faith and that faith gets exploited, it stings differently. And what's most frustrating is that this could have all been avoided with just a little transparency. But the longer the silence goes on, the louder the questions get. Where's the money? Why haven't you shown us the books? And if everything's legit, why act like it's not? And there's one final piece of the puzzle no one can ignore. By now, the cracks in the foundation aren't just visible, they're impossible to ignore. Let's talk legality. Because if Umar Johnson is running a nonprofit organization, as he claims, there are laws and structures that are not optional. They're required. For starters, every legitimate nonprofit must have a board of directors. That's not a formality. It's a legal safeguard. The board is meant to oversee finances, vote on salaries, monitor ethical use of donations, and prevent exactly the kind of mismanagement people are now accusing Umar of. But in Umar's case, there's no visible board, no public record of oversight, no documented team, just him. Solo, and that's a serious problem, because nonprofit money isn't personal money. Donations meant for a school, especially $166 million worth, must be handled through a separate business account, tracked, reported, and used according to the mission of the organization. But Umar has admitted that both his personal and business accounts were frozen, which strongly suggests that the lines were blurred, if not completely erased. Think about what that means. If the funds intended for a school were mixed into personal accounts, it not only violates IRS regulations, it raises the possibility of fraud. It creates a situation where donations could be used for anything, and no one would know. And it's not just shady. It's illegal. This isn't about being anti-Umar. It's about basic accountability. Because when you ask people to give, especially under the banner of saving the next generation, you owe them more than inspirational speeches and Instagram videos. You owe them proof. And right now, there's none. So what happens next? That's the question burning through every donor's mind. Whether it's fraud or just failure, Dr. Umar Johnson's dream school has turned into a nightmare for donors who believed in him. After 11 years, $1.6 million, and countless live stream promises, all that remains is a boarded-up building and a trail of questions no one's answered. But here's the real question. How many more Black leaders like him are out there, saying all the right things, but doing all the wrong ones?